Yeah, I don't know, but I tried to give her a sense. She was so
Whether
frustrated. Whether it's the checks or whatever, checks are being mailed in Don's name, and then of course she invented everything, and she goes to the bank, and it's hard for her to go back, and so she tries to go to
Keep stumping every time.
They give her like
So
a
did you
third
get
of page form to
another
fill out
plumbing
because
work
it's
to
not
get done
in her name.
today?
And I said, well, you
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
have.
I gotta say this for my
Yeah.
folks.
Yeah.
Right, I said,
That'd be-
it's like, for deposit only,
Oh.
deposit it and then transfer it into, no, because
Yeah.
I want it to be.
You-
So that, I said, well,
I don't know.
you could get a little piece of paper
Dragging
and
everything up.
automatically deposit it.
Which is already on hand.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't.
There
know
are
how-
shortcuts.
This is a new one
That's
Yeah,
for me.
and I know Doug, so if it's new to him, then yeah.
And,
Yeah.
You
So
haven't got
she's
that.
got, she's
I
running
work
into
a lot.
things like,
Right
she
down
took
there.
paperwork and had it notarized, and the notary didn't put her
Read it
expiration
over.
date, or she didn't put her expiration date, so she stamped it, so she had to go back and do it over again, and things like that keep happening. Yes.
It's 6 o'clock, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. First time on the agenda, roll call, John Thompson here.
Yeah.
No, Mike said,
Problem at here.
I have everything that Mike said,
Approval of the agenda.
$7,000.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of minutes. There's a few minutes there.
Everybody's had a chance to review the minutes beforehand, but I would make a motion to approve some.
Okay, motion and second. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Citizens wishing to be heard, number 4.
I'm just gonna bring up something, because I thought the person was going to be here, but they're not, so. The letters that the planning commission sent out about, an extra number of vehicles sitting in driveways and things like that, we've been contacted by them, and, they're concerned, and I said that we would work with them, but they're concerned that they're going to get a ticket, well, so I just said, I thought she was going to come here tonight, because she needs some extra time. The deadline date was given to her for August 1st. I told her I would work with her, but how do we proceed with this?
I would have her just talk to you, give an explanation what she's looking for, because we'll have another planning commission meeting, I would think, sometime soon, because we're trying to really follow up on a lot of these properties, and we want to stay after it, so.
Right.
We could always invite her to come to that meeting and then discuss it with us, and then
Okay.
figure out a workable plan.
That's what I wanted, because
Yeah.
when she was here, I suggested that she come here and ask you, because the deal is, there's a sickly in-law who's been, gone to a nursing home.
Yep.
And won't be resuming his vehicle, but they're housing it.
Right.
And they have 2 vehicles of their own that they say they're going to sell, but they just haven't gotten to it yet. So, that takes a little bit of time. I suspect at least 3 of them will be sold, but it takes time.
Yep.
So, I just wanna reassure her that we're not going to move forward with anything legal, I guess, right now.
Yeah, I think we're willing to work with anyone.
Okay.
We want to see progress.
Right.
And I think that's what we've talked, does that sound right?
Yes.
Sandy, that's what
Okay.
we're interested in. So if we're
Right.
seeing progress, like her coming to talk to us, I think is progress,
Okay,
so.
all right. So then, anybody else if anybody comes in to question their letters, we also have had another gentleman come in about his wood pile. We'll just suggest that when there is a scheduled planning commission meeting, they attend that meeting.
Yep, I think that would be fine.
Okay,
Or just email the office, tell us what they would like to do, what they're looking for. And then
Well-
we can discuss and if we need to, go knock on their door and have a conversation, we can do that.
okay.
I'd rather see them at the meetings, the planning meetings.
I agree,
Yeah.
but, so, you know, maybe they have a work schedule limitation too, so.
Well, let's ask
Regardless.
them to the meeting first and then to the, go to the paper.
Yeah, as long as you're keeping communication going,
Okay.
yeah.
Cause there has been progress on some of them.
Yep, and we're not trying to be harsh with anyone, you know, we're willing to work with people, but things have to change. So. Anything else? Okay, vouchers, number 5.
I'll make a motion to approve vouchers.
There's one edit that you need, Stacy, right here. On the Dymax, it has DNS asphalt, because you got DNS asphalt here, which this is proper with this, but that's
Oh,
Dymax up
okay.
there. So if you just make that edit, I'm on the second page, about a quarter, third of the way down, do you see that? Where there's multiple DNS, so that top one just needs to be Dymax, so the record's good, so. So you need a motion, Nicole?
Yeah,
Then 2 more security cameras get put up in the park.
So I've been talking with the AJ Becker. They came once to install and we sealed the walkway, so they had to reschedule. They came back the next time and realized they needed to bring a little bit bigger piece of equipment so they could go through. So they are making progress on that. So I'll keep after it. But yeah, we paid for those cameras. We're gonna need a router, it sounds like too. So, yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah, they have been expensive ones, that's why they're really good. So, any other?
So do they have, do they think that it's gonna be this month or?
I can ask. Yeah, it just depends on,
Plus we got all those flags we'd like to get rid of them, cause that's a mess in the park. You guys been there all summer. The markers.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't irritate those outside.
no, no, because they actually paid for that themselves.
Right,
Us diggers wouldn't mark it for,
right.
because it's on our property, so they paid for it.
So much sooner the cameras work, the better, because we had another incident last night with vandalism in the bathroom, so.
Yeah. I mean, we can put up the cameras and just put the memory chip card into them and they'll start recording. And if we have an issue, we can go look at them.
SD card out.
Yeah, you pull the SD card out and go put it in the computer and you look at it. So, we don't necessarily have to wait. And it'd be nice to have all that in and do it all at once, I agree.
So we can put them in now, do we have to then take them back out to put them back? I don't know how that
Probably,
works.
yeah, to get them set up properly on that. But it won't be hard once we figure out where they're gonna be. So, yeah, we can talk about that. Absolutely.
Should we do that then? Should I get that going?
I think Parks Committee should talk about it and just address it. I mean, they've already been approved. We've kind of left it to you guys to do that. I think you guys have authority to do that, if that makes sense. So we have a motion, do we have a second?
Vouchers?
Yep, second on the voucher.
I'll second.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 6, treasurer's water report.
Make a motion to approve the treasurer.
Okay, motion by Nicole,
I'll second it.
second by Dave. Any more discussion? those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. No sewer credit on number 7. Number 8, licenses, we have 1 operator's license.
Everything has been paid, background check is clear. That's the bartender class, so.
Motion we approve.
Okay, motion by John,
I'll second it.
second by Danielle. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 9, economic development report.
Oh, excuse me. If you notice, you're coming down Highway 11, your 2 major poles are up. We got the poles for free, saved a couple, about $300 on those, but, so we decided to spend the money and have somebody else put the poles in. We have Rick Johnson come over and dig them and so forth, so you'll get a bill for him, but, you know, total about $350, and they're standing, nice and tall, and, Chuck was gonna be here tonight, but he called me and couldn't, and he said that he would have it done probably by Monday or Tuesday of next week.
Cool.
Our sign will be back in business on Highway 11, and everybody will know we're here.
Are you gonna do it towards the top of the poles then, Bob? Is that the
Pardon?
plan? Are you gonna put it all the way to the top of the poles?
No, we're gonna put about the same height, we're gonna,
Okay.
did you ever get a hold of the landowner?
No, I will see if I can find his number.
Yeah. Are you gonna go cut them out, those bushes in front of the sign some night?
Yeah, that's why I was asking that question, because those bushes sit there and you don't see it very well.
We'll get a hold of him and ask him if we can cut those down, and it'll be totally visible then.
Cool.
Okay. We submitted our capstone project to the University of Wisconsin. We got it in, and we're waiting till September 15th to find out if we are one of the lucky recipients of that award. I talked to, well, I guess I'll leave this one maybe for later on when we talk about the police, but I've got some interesting, I talked to one of the legislators. I know we're having a hard time finding police, and I talked to Mark Spencer's, one of his aides, and we talked about putting in cameras. They're not linked to the state of Wisconsin, but they're in the process. They're legislatively rolling slowly through, and they're talking about doing a pilot project in the city of Milwaukee, and I said, well, I think we should have a project in Football. So I got her name in for that maybe. So anyway, that's it.
Danielle, anything?
We have a committee meeting August 12th. It should be a tomorrow.
Okay, planning commission report. You wanna talk about what we've been doing, Sandy, at all?
Well, when we've been meeting, we've been talking about the properties and Foothill, cleaning them up, and like John said, a lot of them are making progress. There's only one that's kind of a stickler, but I understand you talked to Rick Johnson about Corey Melky's property.
Yes, they're working on the building right now.
Okay. Cause when I was down there Monday night, there was nothing going on.
Corey and I met yesterday morning.
Good.
I've seen the truck running a couple of
Okay, good. And, we talked to Robbie, Stacy and I and Randy. We were just driving by showing Stacy the industrial park, cause she didn't know all about it. And he knows what his covenants are, and he's working on them, and like you said, he's doing the trees and stuff.
Yeah.
So, that's a good thing. And he does know that he's gotta do some cement approaches to the property. He's working on that. And he talked about putting up a fence around there because his equipment is out in front of the building. We talked about the TIF district. And we kinda approved that, and it's just up to the board for that now. And we'll stay right on the, property owners because been a lot of improvement.
Yeah. That committee is working well, I'd say. Making some good progress. Okay, any questions? Number 11, Public Works, Mike, Craig, or Mike? David's here.
How's it going, Dave?
It's going good. I don't know what to say. It's going well, I think.
Learning lots of stuff. I'm
Yep.
sure.
I am.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
I am enjoying
Don't lie to me.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the last few days.
Yeah, the last few days
Today was-
was not fun.
Today was hot.
The wheat pulling, I'm sure no one enjoys.
It's, yeah, horrible.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it looks better down there.
Yep, it does.
What I found out from Mike, I wish Mike Tinder was here. He said he's still waiting on something for a sample coming back on well 2. And he's having trouble with groundwater again today. And he said it seemed like it was less when well 2 was working. It's just that, it's one stretch down Depot Street, why it's always brown.
So it is just a certain area of
He says every time they open a hydrant, Depot
This is
Street,
always brown.
it's usually the restaurant. I said, well, we're 2 buildings away, we haven't, and I'll take told me when I got home, she was already, our water's yellow. It's not brown, it's yellow. She's like, she's a toilet just.
Maybe we just need to open up the hydrants and just blast a lot through there. I mean, I don't know what else to do.
So that, he just can't figure out why it's just that one spot.
I know.
They what's that?
They did flush hydrants this
Yeah,
morning.
they was around flushing.
Yeah, they open them wide open, send a lot of water through, and they don't need to, because otherwise the sediments, I'm guessing that pipe in there is a 10-inch pipe going down the street.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
has
there's
to
a
be
lot
enough
of water.
pressure to get the
That's a
junk
lot
out.
of water. Yeah.
And I know Mike told me this morning too that, they're waiting for that damn pump, or, actuator or pump that pumps it back out of the filter bed, and opens and closes.
Mhm.
We still haven't got that in, I know it's taking so long to get that in,
Yep,
so waiting on that.
yep, it's hard to get parts, hard to get stuff.
But otherwise, yeah, we could use all the help we can get down there in that filter bed, if anybody's got free time. Me, I've been down there the last 2 days, they've been working 4 days. We got about a quarter with them. Pulled about, how many, I think Mike said he took out 8 truckloads yesterday,
Yeah.
and then the one we took out today.
I think it was 3 or 4.
3 or 4 today.
Is this a usual problem
No.
everywhere?
No.
And
No, but
did-
I mean, even the weather, I'm not trying to make excuses, but even the weather, how often have people tried to mow their grass? I mean, the weeds are just
Yeah.
out of control this year.
You can't
Like-
blame Mike, it's
No.
not Mike's fault, he's working by himself, he's got a lot of other stuff going on.
Yeah.
I look at it as this whole, everybody sitting around this table, I put the blame on them. Me included. We took 2 goddamn turns, too long to get somebody hired. Things just got drug out, it's been 90 degrees humid out there, I can't expect anybody out there in that bed pulling weeds.
I wasn't placing blame, I was just
No.
curious if this is like a yearly
No.
problem or if it's just this year.
But I also did talk to Dale Peterson over in Alcoka, he's got a filter bed.
Mhm.
He gave me a couple chemicals, I said, is there anything you guys use for chemicals that won't kill the bugs? And he gave me a couple, one's a water base, he said it takes a little while, takes a little longer to use, work. The other one's an oil base, he said it'll be dead within a day. He said, when we shut a bed down, we'll spray it,
Mhm.
go in and kill it,
Clean it out.
clean it up. I said, right now, we got a lot of weed seed going right back into that bed.
Yep.
We need to put an end to it quick.
Yep, because they'll be back up in a month.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Mom, I think sooner than that,
Yeah.
I'm serious at the way it's growing. I feel like I've made a career out of pulling weeds just out of my
We sat there
yard.
taking a break
It's-
yesterday, and
it's
it's
just
so
flooded
damn,
this year.
you're not ever trying to get this back again.
Yeah.
What?
And he says, no, I kind of, just need some attention about every
Pallet
2
of
weeks.
that.
You can't.
Do we have a couple of those beds shut down?
One is shut down, 3 of them are,
Okay.
we had them all spick and span last spring, me, Steve, and Mike,
Yeah.
when the inspectors come out.
Yeah.
And Mike didn't have time to put number 4 bed back together, he said he's gotta replace some blocks in there. I suggested doing that one first, getting that one started, shut one of these other ones off so they can
Yeah.
dry out. He said it's gonna take, I gotta replace all of them, lot of blocks, right angle.
Mhm.
And he says, I haven't had time to come back and get that done.
Yeah. I'm just thinking if we could shut one down and then just keep it tilled.
And he's, number 4 is shut down.
Yeah.
And that don't have many weeds in it at all. That one's actually pretty clean.
Once we get to the end, yeah,
Yep.
3 is horrid. I
Yeah.
walked, when I walked that,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. It's more work than you can imagine, possible, isn't it?
I took some pictures.
It's unreal.
Well, I know Ashley from the DNR is willing to work with us, she just wants, again, she wants to see us make progress. So,
They need workers.
yeah.
I would hope, I
Because
have
it-
this job that gets in the way.
Well, and again,
I'm in Chicago tomorrow and Sunday I'm going to.
you know, if we have hours in these part-time guys to do lawn maintenance, we should.
Intertwined.
Well, or could we even ask them to work additional hours to help with.
Oh, Mike, yeah.
As long as we,
Mike,
as long as we keep them under full-time hours.
Well, they can actually work full-time hours
Because
for
they're
a
temporary.
certain period of time, they just can't do it for a long, and I don't remember the number of days exactly. But if they do work full-time a couple of weeks, it's not gonna be affect anything. Even if we had them work full-time the rest of August, they would be fine.
Because like Roland says, we need people, need bodies.
Yeah, I would ask them if they wanna do extra hours.
I mean, because if we
Careful
get,
down there too, cause it's, you can't just get anybody in there. You know, you're gonna have medical problems, you know, you
Yes.
can't be liable for,
no,
them pumps running, it's raw sewage coming in there.
yeah,
You
Yeah,
cannot be
you-
touching your face with your hands, wear gloves. I mean, you gotta work smart, you can't, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, I touched my eyes and I couldn't see.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought, I just messed up.
yep, you got, you
Yeah,
just
we
gotta be
need to be
careful, wear
careful
gloves,
Yeah,
or,
but you're sweating so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
You know.
I got my hanky, you know, I pull
Yeah,
the glove
I
out,
gotta
grab my
bring a
hanky.
towel.
Get a bandana on.
Yep,
Yes,
No.
exactly.
but it's,
But yeah.
you could use everybody's help up there, cause that puts the blame on the whole board.
You start
Right.
pulling and all of a sudden, the sewage starts coming, the water sewage starts coming through, I'm like, oh, great, now I gotta dig in that.
Yep. About every hour that'll kick
Yep,
in and.
yep.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to number 12. Tax increment district recommendation for approval from planning commission. So we have a resolution here. The planning commission did talk about this extensively. They had questions. Had a good discussion with Al. We came to the decision, it was a unanimous decision to approve it. So if you have questions for Al, we talked about it. I mean, it seems like a good opportunity to get more water customers, more sewer customers, more tax base.
Yeah, I mean, any questions for me, I'm more than
No,
happy.
I was,
Go ahead.
I was told just tonight by somebody who opposed it. I said, that's fine, that's what I wanna hear. I wanna hear opposing things too. You probably know more than I do. The west fence line of that property, it's like, what, 30-40 feet of woods
Which property?
of the TID district over here where we're gonna be building the subdivision.
Yeah,
He said that west fence line is like 30-40-50 feet of woods, oaks and. he-
I don't really know anything about that over there.
He said it's not really a fence line, it's just a border of trees.
Okay,
He would like to see them stay. He said, I'd take a walk around that park up there. I've seen a couple baby owls fly down, land down here.
well, I'm not in favor of cutting any trees down.
And I said, I don't know if they figure on cutting all them trees down, you know, for that TID district.
I mean,
Or how much that's gonna affect.
most people want trees in their backyard anyhow, especially in
That might be a big selling point to someone
Yeah,
with trees.
Right,
Yeah,
and I said,
I
I don't
don't
think that's probably gonna, they're not gonna tear all that down, I don't believe.
Oh, I don't think so, no.
Yeah, I mean, well, that would be 100% dependent on the development, irrespective of the TIF district. I mean, it's not as though once the TIF district's created, you know, bulldozers go out there and start tearing things down. You know, if a developer comes in and says, I'd like to develop this tract of land, then they would go through the process with the plan commission to put forth a subdivision plat, and then ultimately the village board would approve that subdivision plat. And if the preservation of a tree line is something that's important to either the plan commission or the village board, then that could be a requirement of that plat approval to say, hey, here's a natural area that we would like to see preserved. But that's somewhat irrespective of the TIF. The TIF is irrelevant in that discussion. I mean, if we were not discussing the TIF district in any way, shape, or form, and a developer came in and said, I'd like to develop that tract of land, that's the conversation
I
that
just
you would
didn't want
have.
to fall into the trap, well, yeah, this is in the TIF district, it's all yours, do what you want to. you know?
Well, I mean, that would be up to this, you know, it'd be up to
Okay.
this body to say, you know, maybe, you know, you own the land.
Yeah.
So, you know, your first option would be to say, okay, we'll sell you all of this land with the exception of this natural area. And then you would legally define that through a survey. That could be your first option, or your second option could be, all right, we'll approve a development, a neighborhood plan. And one of the requirements that we would impose upon you is that this natural barrier remain intact. Now, the developer might say, well, that doesn't work for me. I can't make, you know, I need that land in order to develop 22 houses in order to cash flow my project. But again, that would be completely irrespective of the TIF. It would have nothing to do with the TIF at that point. That would be a negotiation between the developer and the village.
That'd be stipulated in the developer agreement,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Yeah, whatever we want.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff happens anytime development occurs. The land gets changed, yeah. Yeah, that's a fair
Trying to
question.
get that cleared up, you know, if we're gonna have a little say on the natural part of it, you know, not there.
It's your choice,
Yep.
yeah, your choice, yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of say still, Roland, we're not really. giving
Especially
that
since
up.
you own the land. If you
Yeah.
didn't own the land, you know, you still would have some say, but, you know, you're in the position of, to make that happen by owning the land specifically too. You could rezone that property to conservancy and then it could never be disturbed. You know, that'd be another option. Any questions about the document? I know it's rather lengthy. Plan Commission's gone through it twice, or at least we've had 2 Plan Commission meetings. Economic Development Committee's gone through it several times. Joint Board of Review met back in June and they reviewed it as well, so there's been a couple of kicks at the cat thus far. But it's not done until the next step in the process would be this board either approves it or not. And if this board approves it, then the joint review board reconvenes, maybe even as early as next week. And then they would give the final stamp of approval. Then it would be submitted to the state and the state would review it to make sure it's consistent with, you know, state statutes. And so there's still a little bit of a process, but this is, we're in the red zone.
Maybe can you explain, like we talked the other day about tax money of
Mhm.
current, the businesses and houses in the TIF still comes to us?
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
improvement money that goes to
Yep,
the TIF.
so let's just say hypothetically, the board approves this tonight. The joint review board approves it next week, it goes to the state gives us its blessing. Whatever the value is on the ground on basically December 31st of 2025, let's say. Whatever the value is on the ground, that becomes the base value. And any tax dollars that are collected within that base value still go the traditional route of being collected by the village and then dispersed to the school district, county, and VOTEC. Any new value that is created then essentially on January 1st would then be held within the TIF district. So as an example, if you own a home that's in the TIF district, and on December 31st, you own a home and you get a tax bill in the mail for $2,000. That $2,000 stays with the village. you decide on April 1st of 2026 to add on to your home. You wanna add a new outbuilding or add on a 3 seasons porch. There's a new value then attributed to your home, and your tax bill maybe goes from $2,000 to $2,200 based on the new improvements. That original $2,000 still goes to the village. The $200 that was improved then goes to the TIF. So everybody that is paying taxes today pays taxes tomorrow and next year and the year after and the year after and the year after. It's any new value that's created after the TIF is held by the TIF for the life of the TIF. So, does that answer? It's that
It's-
delta, it's that change that gets
People that
held.
thought that all that tax money
Nope.
went to the TIF and then
No.
the village was gonna be short
No,
money.
no, I don't know that anybody would adopt a TIF district if
Right.
that was the case. Yeah, it'd be a lot of challenging budgets to make it that point.
But Batterman has already contacted me, they have at least 2 or 3 developers interested.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I've had another
I'm sure.
contact me, so it may be that we say yes to this and that gets developed really quick. We
Oh,
might be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, you guys are, still very strategically located, with kind of the Dane County, Janesville kind of corridor. Housing prices continue to increase, housing stock continues to not keep pace with the demand, so absolutely.
Now, if somebody's got a house that falls within the TIF, and they wanna put a new deck on, will the TIF help pay for that or not?
Not unless the community sets forth some sort of program that would allow them to do that. I would not recommend that, in my opinion. A deck is not anything that would be of public benefit. Now, if somebody said, hey, I've got a roof that is 35 years old and it's causing structural damage to my home, I can't afford a new roof, can the city help me out? That might be something that you could consider. Again, it's not a must, it's not a, you should do this, or they can't come to you and say, hey, I'm in a TIF, you owe me money. It doesn't work like that. But but I have created programs like that in the communities that I've worked for, and I know other communities do it as well. But they generally try to keep it to something that is of substantive value to the property itself. So when I created a program in a community that I worked in, I said it had to be a structural improvement and it had to be visible to the public. So for an example, I had somebody come to me and say, hey, I need a new patio door, and I said, it's not visible to
They
the
didn't know where
public.
the cutoff was. where-
Yeah, it's however you define it. Yep.
but we might say, down on Depot Street, we'd like to see things cleaned up a little bit, brightened
Yeah.
up. We might give grants for people to do that for a
Right.
certain dollar amount, maybe it's a 50-50,
Yep.
and see some progress there. Or we
Yeah.
have a business that would like to expand
There's a
and
few
we'd
houses
like to see them
I'd like to
expand.
talk to them and see if they would be willing to reside their house or roof their house or.
Tuck pointing, roofing,
Some-
awnings,
yeah,
windows.
A couple houses down there, I
Yep.
wanna have different places.
Well,
I
that-
kinda wanna know, if it's 50%, we don't know if that.
That would
That's
be,
for us to
that would
figure
be
out.
100% your discretion. You could create a program like that, or you could not create a program like that. You're under no obligation either way.
Something else Al said at the planning commission meeting that I never thought about until he said it. Like if we have this subdivision over here, but we find out once Batterman starts looking at sewer lines, and we see that this sewer line is very compromised, even sewer lining can be paid for by this to accommodate the additional going down through there. So we might be able to address some other issues that we'd be forking dollars out for that this can provide for. So
Right.
there are some advantages for us.
I
So-
learned that last month. Water and sewer lines.
Yep.
Be kind of involved in this or.
Yes, so as development occurs, certainly there needs to be improvements made to the existing facilities or expansion of the existing facilities. That's the nexus that allows for dollars to be diverted from the TIF to those public facilities, because it's there in support of the development that is the catalytic impetus for the TIF, so, yeah.
Yep.
So I have another question about it. So if we were to, say, create grants, if you will, to help other, isn't the idea of a TIF that the, new builds, let's say, the tax money from that is what is used to pay back the TIF?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're using it on infrastructure like sewers and things, that wouldn't produce good tax dollars. So then would you not be short at the end of the TIF to repay the TIF if you're not getting tax money back on things like siding projects or window projects or sewer projects? And then the village, would it not have to be responsible to repay whatever the shortfall might be on that TIF money at the end of the TIF time?
So the way that this TIF project plan is created, there would be no borrowing. So there wouldn't be anything to pay back.
Okay.
So the TIF is, the whole concept of TIF is that it's supposed to be revenue neutral. That you're not supposed to create more revenue than what the expenses are. So essentially, with the creation of this TIF as it's drafted, there is no expenses. The only expenses would be administrative time, you know, if there's marketing or anything like that, and those would be rather negligible dollars in the big
Right.
scheme of things.
Mhm.
Now, if you were gonna take out a $2 million borrowing, for example, to, you know, redo your wastewater treatment plant, yes, that would be something that we would need to be very mindful of and keep track of those debits and credits. But because the way that this is established as a debt-free TIF district, there wouldn't be anything to pay back.
Okay.
So, essentially, the district, you know, kind of starts here, revenue goes up, there's no expenses, so the expenses of grants or incentives to the developer or sewer lining, that, you know, keeps that expenses from getting, or the revenue from getting too high.
Okay.
So, yeah, and that's, you know, state statutes indicate that a TIF district's life is 20 years or until the project plan has been completed. So if you were to say, okay, we wanna develop this new neighborhood with 24 homes, we wanna improve our, you know, the infrastructure that serves that neighborhood, that all happens and it's done, and you're kind of happy with the results, you could just say, okay, the TIF is done, it's closed. And there would be nothing to pay back at that.
That's the difference between this TIF and the one where the business park was, because they
Yeah.
did borrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To put in sewer and water lines, and I think to pave roads, if I'm right, too. And so then that became something they had to pay back and they
That's
paid
right,
the
and,
final balance.
and,
on the
yeah,
project.
and I do know that there, just from looking at the paperwork, there was a shortfall that the village had to make up, and that's why I asked that
Well, they had to
question.
sell a huge
Mhm.
piece of property that 60 homes were supposed to go on.
Right.
Otherwise, it would have been even better for us, but that was like 2007.
Oh.
When everything tanked
Yeah.
and no houses were getting built,
Right.
and so they
Yeah.
had to sell property to keep it
Right,
solvent.
that's why I asked, I just wanted to make sure that
That's
we
a
were
great question.
gonna end up
Yeah.
in a scenario like that.
That's an important question.
Pertaining to that, if you wanna do, you'd wanna do that sewer maintenance and lining prior to the houses going in, wouldn't you?
So-
So then you'd be
Yeah.
in debt. 'Cause
Yeah.
you'd have to borrow that money, cause the new projects aren't up yet.
But yes, that is a potential, yeah, if there needs to be investment made prior to, yes, that could occur. But how the village protects itself in that situation is, before you do any improvements to the sewer, you have a developer's agreement signed by the developer who would develop that land, and say, okay, here's what we're willing to do, we're willing to, you know, improve our sewers, we're willing to, you know, relocate our compost facility,
Mhm.
and that's gonna have a cost to the village of $200,000. You need to develop these homes at a commensurate rate to pay that back, or you owe us $200,000. So that, it's called a clawback provision, and it's actually, that's a real phrase in state statutes.
Yeah, we would claw.
Yeah.
Okay, board, have any other questions for motion, table, pass?
I'll make a motion to pass the improvement. Maximum improvement division, the district there. Okay, by the planning committee and everybody else.
I'll second it.
Jinx.
Okay, motion and a second, do we have any other discussion? Any other questions?
Do we need to do a vote? or-
Probably need to do a roll call vote on this. You always come first.
So I was just like,
Yeah.
Mia,
yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Tom,
No.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
So then I will work with Stacy to get the joint review board, scheduled for sometime in the next, 2 weeks. And then once they have that, once they meet and assuming we approve it, then it gets filed to the state and then, we'll work with, you'll get notifications and I'll get notifications and then it should be effectuated, essentially January 1st.
Monday and Wednesday afternoons are best for me.
Okay. Actually, that, school starts next week, so Mondays and Wednesdays works best for me too, so good deal.
All right, thank you, Al.
Yeah, well, thank
Appreciate
you.
your
And
time.
again, when you get questions like that, like Stacy had, pass them along, email me, give me a call. I do not mind at all. I'm a pretty accessible person, so even when school does start, so.
Yeah, we appreciate all your help.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much, I
Al.
appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you.
Al.
Since Mike's not here, talking about the water quality investigation report seems kind of pointless since we don't have information. So I'll just carry that forward to next month. Number 14, the effluent flow meter. This needs to be repaired because, we're having an issue with potentially too much being discharged out in the Bass Creek. And if the meter is not reading correctly and we don't have good control over it, we could face fines if we're sending too much out. So this is the recommendation by Greg and Nate.
Make a motion to approve, effluent flow meter. It's a proposed amount of $680.
I'll second.
Motion by Nicole, second by John. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Alright. We talked about safety measures at wastewater treatment plant. I think that's something that Neil brought up. Since you guys are down there, maybe we should be starting to make a list. Like, I don't know if you're making a list on things you noticed. I mean, you've got fresh eyes down there. David, there might be something you might go, hey, this ought to be done, but I know we were talking about like where there's trip areas and yellow paint, might be smart. Just mark some things a little bit better, so people unfamiliar with those things don't have an injury or anything like that, so.
And things keep all them lids closed. And don't leave any lids open.
Yep.
That's the worst thing you can do down there is,
Well, and even painting all the lids
yeah.
might be a smart thing to do.
They had talked about there was an open area that if somebody fell, that
Oh,
nobody
that's-
would ever know, but there's really nothing, is there anything that can be done?
If the hatch is open, yeah, it's an open area, you can fall in there, there's really nothing you can do about it.
Right.
That's
But
just
it
part
can
of
be
the
Fencing
closed.
wouldn't be,
You wouldn't
wouldn't
make
fence
sure
that.
Yeah,
hatch is
Nate
closed.
said that's the same in Janesville. So
Right.
Yeah, they're all, that's the way,
so again, maybe just some yellow paint, just as a
that's the
warning there.
design of the sewer.
Yeah.
You got hatches, you can't leave a hatch open, yeah.
Yeah, it's a hazardous work
Won't
area.
be gone.
Right.
Yeah.
What was Mike Tinder doing when he got all banged up?
Mike McGuire?
Mike, no. Oh, was it Mike
Yeah,
McGuire? I thought it was Mike
Mike
He
Tingley.
was lifting that pump out, that's
Yeah,
why
he
you
was
got the
lifting that
crane.
pump out.
Talking about the crane for the lift. He lifted that up there. And he shouldn't have been doing that.
Should there be any kind of rule, and maybe there is, I mean, when you're working in that one spot, should there always be two people there? I
There
mean,
should be. There should be, when you're working around the pit, I would say, just for safety reasons, you need somebody there in case you fall in. I know Joe North, when he's down on the vacation, I remember Richie Woodstock went down there.
Yeah,
He had to do something, he always had somebody there watching.
yeah.
If he falls, at least somebody's there to call 911 for you. Try and help,
Yeah.
you know, try and pull you out of there. So it should always be somebody there if you're gonna be done working around the pits. It's just common sense.
I can always ask Greg Richter if he could maybe give us some recommendations.
Yeah. A lot of that's, you know, common sense.
I'll email Greg. Okay, 16, if you guys are okay moving on, that crane, I'm assuming these came from me.
Yes, yep, so there's a quote from Akey's, and then there's, Harbor Freight and Northern Tool.
You may have a recommendation.
They did,
Wish that was said something last time. I thought Akey's was a little high.
Yeah,
Remember him saying that. Priced over to Harbor Freight, I didn't realize it went further.
yeah, Northern's got, is that right, 1359.97 for all three?
that's for all three, for the trolley and the chain hoist and.
And Tammy was looking at, we got some grant money, correct, like $600?
Yeah, they're through our, insurance company, their insurance.
Yeah, so maybe that we can throw this back to them and get some money to help cover this too. Oh, I think it's worth a shot, because this is a pretty big deal.
I think they want to.
I would think they would want to. I agree with you, Joe.
And I'm just curious, cause it, I can't readily see it, but, okay, so for Northern Tool, they have a 1-year warranty on the equipment. I don't see anything for
So other ones
this one.
The Harbor Freight.
Is that what this is Harbor Freight, this one? Oh, I see that. I'm not seeing where there is.
And there could be
a
more that
warranty.
just didn't get printed out until I did not look.
Harbor Freight's had all this stuff separate.
Yes.
And just so you know, the grant that is through the insurance, the way that works, we have to make the purchase, pay for it first, then send in the receipt to get the reimbursement back.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but Tammy and I both agreed this would be a good thing to talk to them about, see if they give us, I mean, if they give us $600, it helps us,
Mhm.
make us a
Northern,
lot less.
sorry, Northern Tool, theirs has a 4,000 pound capacity, which is greater than the other two.
Yeah, it might also be useful for other things too.
And it
with-
sounds
with
like I
tools,
might-
you get what you pay for.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I don't buy a wrench from Harbor Freight, I'm sorry.
I would not purchase from Harbor Freight. And my other thing, I guess my other thought is that if we were to choose AV, we would have somebody here ready to do repairs, I'm assuming.
Are they offering a warranty? Is it warranty? I haven't seen
I
it,
don't
so.
see anything on there that says a warranty. I don't know if that means that they don't have one.
Does that have a chain, the chain
No,
lift?
the AG's doesn't have the trolley or the chain. They don't
So
have
that'd be
to
more
purchase
than-
that, yeah.
Well, maybe we can talk to Coy and see if we can negotiate the quote a little.
We did-
it would be worth a discussion. I guess I would like to know if they would be, you know, hands on deck if it needs repairs, and that they would be able to repair it quickly. I kinda also like the idea of keeping the money in the village. So,
And we can take any of these, because we're under 5,000.
I guess I would like to see what else AE can do. I would not go with Harbor Freight at all, Northern would be my second choice. That's my input.
That's just, then we still gotta buy the winch or the ways to trolley. Just all together, I think.
Yeah. And the prices are attractive. The lift capacity is attractive too.
Mhm. Yeah, I did see AE's is at £1,000 rating.
What and lift.
It must be 12 foot wide, don't you think, Roland?
Well, I don't know what capacity, 8.2 feet.
See, and I'm thinking, like, they have it on theirs that it's 8 wide by 8 tall. I'm thinking that this is 8 tall and 12 wide.
It says it adjusts, so it must have a height
Do you think
adjustment
it's
on
the
it.
opposite?
Cause I know, what is that pump down there, what did they say, 20 feet, 16
Yep,
feet?
it's down there a ways.
I guess I need to know that to see if 12 foot's gonna get it up out of the hole or not.
Well, Dave Musburger, Nate wanna
Yeah.
put them on there.
Yeah. Maybe there's a way to connect down on the
Yeah,
pump.
it says
so
adjust
that-
7.8 feet to 11.7 feet, and it's 7.77 feet between the vertical beams. Yeah.
Anyone feel strongly either way? We're down to 2.
I would like to go through AE.
Oh, I would like to too.
Yeah.
But I think they'd have to get
I
a
mean,
little
we're-
better.
I think we would need to know if they could provide us with the additional deploy, and the trolley, and, you know, the price wise, but I would wanna know also, is there a warranty, are they going to service it if need be? I think that would be pertinent information to know. Does anybody have a problem with us talking to AE just to figure out if we can do something better, or?
If they would match that price, would you guys go with 80? Or if they were even close to that price?
It'd be nice to go with local, yes.
Yes.
I like the idea of having somebody close to, if there's an issue with it, that they'd be able to service it.
They, right here it's saying 2,100, that's just for the stand.
I know.
Mhm.
This is 13.59 for all 3 pieces.
Mhm.
Yep. I mean, we need to be fiscally responsible too, there's that's intention.
Well, one,
Plus, if we could talk to AE and get that information.
Yeah, I
would
think,
have- I would have time to call. I don't want to bother the state.
Well, that's-
yeah, no, that would be great, cause I think we need to have all the info.
yeah, see if we can. Probably price it a little better. We'll come close to that anyway. So we like to go with local, we gotta get those close to the price.
I think, like you said, Nicole, I think AE would be great if we can get it a little bit closer, otherwise the northern we don't want to.
So what's our top end on budget? What do we want to?
And how heavy are these pumps?
I don't know.
This AT one is rated for 1,000 pounds.
I would think that would pull them out.
Mike pulled them out by himself.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
yeah, I
So
would
I
say
would
that's
think
funny.
this is plenty of strength.
Yeah, it's plenty heavy enough to pull that pump. Mike looked at it out there himself, heard himself in here.
What do you think, 4,000 pound capacity?
It's kind of overkill.
Unless you could use it for a
Yeah.
diesel.
Yeah.
There's
not
been
gonna
some
break.
houses on both
You know?
sides.
The 4,000, you're not gonna break.
Right. And it's on casters, we can wheel it around if we need, set back truck, we need to lift out of there, we can lift it out. And then pick it up, pick it up, bring the truck out of there.
We'll see what Nate thinks.
Well, yeah, that's,
So what if we approve a top dollar amount we want to spend and let Nate have a conversation and either purchase this one or AP can consider if they wanna get it for that price. Does that sound reasonable? So again, guess then we just need to figure out what that price is. What do we
That
want
way
to
we don't
spend?
have to wait for another
Yep,
month.
we don't have to wait. Cause I trust Nate to make a good decision.
1,700.
Something like that. I was thinking 1,750. So somewhere in there.
I think that would be reasonable.
Cause I mean, we just can't go spending lots of money, right? We got lots better to do.
yeah, Bill, they can bring that down, to all three pieces for 1,700. It's not showing any dollar or. Not showing no winch or trolley or nothing there. It's just a frame.
Unless there's just an expectation that they would be included when they did that quote, but I think it warrants
Right.
asking to find out.
Yeah,
That would be nice.
yep.
Yeah, I would really like to see this here in town.
So why don't we make a motion authorizing Nate to spend a certain dollar amount?
I'll make a motion to authorize the 1,750.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is that the number you like?
Yeah, I think 1,750 is sufficient.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by Nicole, second by John, to authorize Nate to purchase one with that budget. And if ATs can accommodate that, our intent is to have them do it. Keep dollars here.
And you'll reach out to Nate and ask him to
Yeah,
find it out?
I'll call him tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, he's busy this week.
I know he's busy. If I can catch him right away.
Yeah. Sounds good. Okay. Motion and a second. Any more discussion? Everyone in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Grease trap ordinance. So I did talk with one business owner who was concerned that this changes it from 4 times a year to 6 times a year, and it's $200 every time they get that cleaned out. And they've been compliant the whole time, so I think it's okay to pass it like this, but I think we need to be aware of what we're doing. And if we find that certain businesses in town, a number of them are very compliant, we do have the flexibility to extend that back to the 3 months for them, that this ordinance does provide that option.
Have they got documentation that they're doing it 4
I
times?
think they do, yeah, they have someone come and pump it for them.
We need documentation up here that's being.
Yep, yep, so we can start with what we're doing, and then we can, I think we need to be willing to have whoever's in charge, if it's the sewer committee, you know, work with our businesses to help it be least impactful as possible, as long as they are compliant. That was just their point, and I said, I understand that, but we got issues, and we gotta deal with the issues.
If we're gonna do it for one, we're gonna do it for another, and we're not gonna do it for another, we're gonna let them go run this border. I don't know what we wrote this ordinance up for.
Can I say, is it possible to put in minutes that the ordinance is passed as with the changes, and that we subscribe to that ordinance as newly adjusted for at least the term of 12 months, and see if we notice an impact at the water treatment plant, to see whether or not, because I think that should be a deciding factor on whether or not we continue on with the every 60 days, or, you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
If it makes an impact on down there, then it's probably something that should continue.
Yeah, so if you look in section 319.31, required maintenance of grease traps, number A, each person that owns, go down, fourth line, such cleanout and removal shall be accomplished no less than bi-monthly, or at least 6 times per year minimum basis, unless the village, upon receipt from proof from the owner or operator, or on the basis of its own inspection of the grease trap, determines that a less or more frequent maintenance schedule is required to ensure the purposes of this article and to minimize the discharge of prohibited concentration of fats, oils, or grease. So that means, let's say we got someone, and 2 months is not enough. And they're throwing all kinds of stuff in, and it needs to be every month. This gives us that
We can
flexibility.
adjust up or down.
Up or down. So if they're not doing what they need
That's
to,
what you want.
that gives us teeth. So that does give us flexibility with people like this person that talked to me. You know, I get food service, $400 is a big chunk of profit, and all their stuff is going up. But at the same time, we wanna see this next. We wanna see it taken care of, not an issue, So I'm not saying we change up Roland, I'm just saying we just be aware. Cause I think this, the way it's written is good. And I have no problem.
I wrote perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, Tim did a good job putting this together for us.
Yeah, I guess as long as we can do it and make sure that they're getting them, what documentation that's being pumped.
Absolutely, this requires it.
Slide back. We got a problem somewhere in Greece.
We do. Yeah, we do.
So we have this written, but, so how do we tell for each business?
Well, we'll need to send a letter, we need to send an
Well,
ordinance.
What I mean is, so this person's been doing it correctly, do we just say, okay, you're fine at the 4 times or a
I
year,
think we
or-
start off with this, I think like Roland said, we start off with this. You know, Tammy suggested, maybe we do it for a year, maybe we do it for 6 months. We can decide what that is, but I think we ought to just, you know, Nate wants to do inspections, I think we ought to be looking. And if we think someone does not need it as often, and the sewer committee wants to make that recommendation,
So they'd have to
We should-
come to us to ask us if they could cut it down some,
I think,
or will we?
I think the sewer committee should have the opportunity to say, this does not need to be expected as much.
I think realistically, after the first 6 months, if they're filing their documentation with the village, by the end of 6 months, you should know whether or not there's an improvement or not.
We'll see it.
And then after the 6 months, we could say, okay, there's been a vast improvement, we're gonna do this. There hasn't been an improvement, then we're gonna do this. But I would say at least we need to give at least 6 months of cleaning to do it, on a 6 times a year basis, and then see the result.
Yeah, cause we can't keep, you know, paying $2,000 or $3,000 all the time to take care of what they ought to be doing.
What it cost us that last time, $6 grand to get that bit cleaned out, all that grease.
To be fair, sometimes it's a matter of accountability for things to
Get
happen.
better,
It
yeah.
just, if they know that they have to be accountable for it, we're gonna see an improvement.
Yeah, I just kinda wanted a schedule or whatever, so that
Yeah.
people don't have to keep coming to say, hey, I'm gonna change it, but the committee, the sewer committee.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
think-
gotta be a recommendation from them.
Yeah.
And if someone wants to appeal to that group, I think they should.
That way they know
Yeah.
what they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'd make a motion to approve the use track ordinance.
So this allow sewer committee to go do an inspection anytime?
This does. So this should be, if we approve this tonight, this should get mailed out to all of them. And give them a date, you know,
No.
if that's, this is August, so end of September, whenever that is, first, you know, middle of October, whatever we want it to be, we need to pick a date and say this is when the first 2 months is up. Probably if you do it on the first of the month, it's easier to remember, and if you do it even months, it makes it a lot easier. So we can give them a little time to make their adjustments, but whatever we're gonna pick. So maybe it's first of October, first of December.
Actually, anytime we wanna go and check it,
Yeah,
it should be on
They can,
the schedule.
yeah.
because you just give them notice.
This doesn't even require that you give them notice. It's in there. You don't have to give them notice. If you want to just wanna go,
Yeah, if we give them notice, okay, we got it pumped out yesterday.
yeah, they'll go clean it.
I just wouldn't do it at the peak of
Defeats
lunchtime.
purpose.
No.
That's right.
I just wouldn't do it at the peak of lunchtime.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, gotta be respectful to
Yeah.
the businesses.
Okay,
I'll second
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Nicole motioned, John seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, the number 18, something Nate wanted me to keep on the agenda. But since
wanna
he's not
wait till
here,
he's
we'll
back?
just keep that, move that to next month, if that sounds fine. We just have to have that taken care of in the next 3 or 4 months, so we have time. So 19, Roland, you wanna talk about your list?
Yeah, yeah. I've got a bunch of quotes here from trucks and tractors. Now, what I'd like to do is the plow truck. It's a 2008 or 2009, got 12,559 miles. Figured that's 735 miles a year. I think it's a lot sitting down there not being used. Now we gotta spend another $12,000 on CDLs to operate that truck. I think it's time we move down a little bit to like a 550, save $12,000 right on top. I got some prices here. Gordy Boucher's got a 2025 F550, 11-foot dump, stainless steel dump. Get that for $100,000. They give me Madison truck. Got somebody to talk to about a spreader. They give me a quote of $10,795, and that's wiring the truck up for the plow and using our existing feed plow. That's $10,795. So you're looking $110,000, $111,000 between them. Kaiser Chevy, they've got a 2025 5500 stainless steel dump, 11-foot dump, box on it. That one for $90,926. Also got a 2025 with 11-foot steel dump. We can get it for $82,109. And that's not sure. And then for a 10-foot plow from Monroe Truck, it's $12,013. A 9-foot poly, Boss poly spreader, $14,046. 046, an 8-foot, and we went with a 108 tailgate spreader like we got right now. That'd be 96. Now there at the Order Monroe, they've got a 2024 Ram, 4,500 9-foot dump, stainless steel. You can get that for $81,358. And it's a little cheaper, same equipment, but it's cheaper for some reason to go put it on the Ram, I don't know why. The breakdown. On the 5500, which I would recommend the stainless steel dump. We went with that. Steel dump is what's all in, you're gonna have the rest of it all. I think it's more worth money to go with the stainless steel. So that price, stainless steel, 10-foot plow. And the poly tank was $116,985 as a package.
Which truck was that?
That was for the 5500 Chevy. 24 Ram. There's a Poly Hopper, we could get that for 96,556. That's with the 10-foot plow and poly spreader. Under tailgate spreader would be 91,638. So it's about $5,000 cheaper to go with the under tailgate spreader. Which I don't think it makes a lot of difference. Pictures here.
Do we know what our current dump trucks were?
I would like to get 50 out of that. Did you check, see how we, is there, can we sell it any way we want to, or we don't have to go through a certain site?
I don't,
No, I think they've sold it in the past, equipment, and they've just, they sold it, put it up for sale. It's gotta be public. But I think I've got the ASB, it's sold, it can be, and I'll pick it up in a couple days. I think that, and the tiller, I wanna get 50,000 out of that. We paid 53, 54 for that.
so that'd be your 100,000 to buy this.
Yep, that'd be 100,000. Money coming in. I might start that truck out at 75, I wouldn't wanna do any less than 50 for it.
Yeah.
It's a brand new truck.
Do we owe any money, are there any loans on any other things that we make? So they're all taken care of, we're all good, clear. Good.
And I guess I would like to get this truck going, so we can get something going here before the snow flies. Otherwise, we're gonna be putting $12,000 out for CDLs, plus the downtime, and wages for downtime, while we're out getting the CDL.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering if I would still have to get my CDL for this, upcoming snowfall if it happened.
Well, if we,
Would determine by
Depends,
this.
okay.
Yeah.
if we get the smaller dump, we won't need a CDL.
Yeah.
Sound good?
I mean, at this point, we can use a smaller truck to plow without a CDL, correct?
Yeah, we won't go to salt.
Yeah.
Salt before.
Yeah, which is important.
Especially for like Notre Dame. Wow.
Yeah. Or Dover.
Which I've talked to Mike, he kinda likes an ollie. It's one we can take out of the bed, with that under tailgate spreader. It's 2 pins, hooks on, 2 pins, and a brace, I mean, that's all it is, 400.
So easy on, yeah.
So is the plan to put the existing equipment up for sale immediately then?
I would like to, see what we can get out of it. I'd like to get the ball rolling on this truck. So we can get something before the snow flies. I guess I would like to get board approval on what we wanna do to put them equipment up for sale.
Mhm. So you wanna try to sell it before you buy? Or what do you think of going?
I think that's the ideal, is to get
That's
them
the
for
ideal thing,
sale.
but I don't know if we're gonna get that done.
Yeah.
Now, we're gonna have to have time to get these trucks over to, they got the dump body on it, they gotta go get equipped with the plow, hydraulics and the, you know,
Yep.
I don't know what their time.
Is
And
that
these
through
trucks-
Northland?
That's through Monroe truck.
No.
And these trucks will have enough weight to, get around and get everywhere they need to go.
Northland, I talked to them, he was kind of rush off, he said, oh, when you wanna talk serious, we'll put something together. Well, what do you think, I'm wasting my time sitting here?
Obviously.
Because
Are
that's-
these trucks four-wheel drive or just rear?
Well,
That's the
that's-
question.
So yeah, they'll get around better than
Yeah.
a big truck.
Yeah, cause it's just weird.
Monroe truck told me a lot of people, a lot of municipalities are going to the smaller trucks to get away from the CDLs.
Yeah.
And he said the 9-foot dump is a lot easier to get around with than 11-foot.
Yeah.
11-foot, but then you get plow out there.
Probably the
make it larger
townships,
down.
it probably makes more sense to have the bigger trucks.
They're automatic, so.
Even with the school district, they only have 2 CDL dump trucks, the rest are
Right.
Smaller.
your
There's a lot of these small towns. they're all-
Silverados, yeah.
Are these diesel or are these
Yeah,
gas?
these are all diesels.
Okay.
Max and the Chevy, and it's a Cummins, he sold it.
Yeah.
Brand.
Did you have a question?
I did, and maybe this isn't feasible at all. So if the ideal, the optimum situation would be to sell what we have and then buy the new. But if we sell what we have and the dollar amount that's been discussed, it seems like the village would still have to come up with.
It's gonna be
the-
about, by the time we put the tractor, I got 2 tractors on this, they're gonna be roughly 30,000, so it's gonna be between the 2 pieces of equipment and attachments, we're gonna probably be 25,000-30,000 probably. The old.
I guess my question was, is would we be able, since we're going to have to put some in anyways, could we put a down payment on the truck that you're interested in?
Like some earnest money?
Yeah, earnest money, that's what I need, yes,
Yeah.
to hold it so that we, as soon as we sell it, we can get it going.
I think all.
And honestly, I think if we get it on a municipality site for sale, it'll sell quicker than anything.
I've been watching that. Wisconsin surplus auctions.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't followed right to the day of the sale. What I've been seeing, it's a good place to buy some, but not a good place to sell some. But like they told me, the road truck, says they don't start bidding until the last day. And I haven't been able to get the last day of the auction
To watch it.
see what their final bid done and stuff. We could try it. I know we can probably get 50,000 out of that ASV and tiller rig.
So when we do that, can we put minimum amounts that we would accept?
You could, we can maybe step with it. I don't know.
I'm
Put
just
it in
thinking
with-
if we do what Tammy suggested and we can put some money down and they'll hold that truck for a month.
It all
and we put
depends
those
on
right
who's
on.
looking for that plow truck. I heard there's one guy might be interested in it right here in town.
I did too.
Yep.
What he's willing to.
So
I don't want to talk to him without getting approval of what we're.
Yep, I understand what you're saying. So, all I'm saying is if we can keep the truck on hold, that we think you want, do you have one you prefer, Roland?
Ram is the cheapest. I'm not a Dodge fan. I'll tell you, I'm not a Dodge fan.
No, I prefer those.
Yeah, that's
I mean, it's a pretty
2024.
new model. Does it have any miles on it, Roland?
It's a new model. It's on the lot over there.
And it has warranty on it, assuming, so if we have issues.
You're getting a 2-year-old truck. We'll get going.
Church just got a 2-year-old van, and it's a lot better than the 28-year-old van.
I mean, that's why it's so much cheaper than.
Yeah,
The road trucks at Kaiser Ford in Madison also has an F-550 completely dressed out with a plow, dump box, spreader, all ready to go.
I was just up there, they have a tremendous amount of these trucks.
He said they was asking 132, now that's a 2024 too. He says they're asking 132, he said, I know you can pick it up cheaper than that, because they're trying to push it, get the old models out. Which we might be able to get this cheaper too, once they know we're serious. Them other ones over at Janesville on the lot right now, they've got 11-foot dumps, a little bit longer wheelbase.
Is there another piece of equipment that we can sell, the skitzer or something, I forget what it's called?
that's what you're talking about,
Or
right?
is that
That's
what
at
it's-
ASV and
That's what
tiller,
you're, that's
yeah.
what you're putting up,
With the
okay.
tower. But we
It's
need the
different.
tractor to replace it, to work on the sewer beds.
Right.
One of these tractors over
And
here.
I think we'll get you a discount.
I'm okay testing the market, if you are. I mean, that really
The
comes.
sooner you get it out there for sale.
I can take
the-
pictures, put it on Facebook.
I think put it out there
If we can do it that way, if the village can do it that way.
I think the way you're
Stacy
thinking.
brought it up, was wondering if there was stipulations on how the municipality had to sell something. That could be on.
Why don't we call Sherry over at Orfordville and just ask? Yeah, because she would, I'm sure she'd be happy to help you.
I don't know why it would be, I don't know why we couldn't sell it just like any
I
other
would
business.
think so,
My only thought would be whether or not it has to be done by auction or
or by seal bid.
not. Yeah, so,
At least that's the other question that I have. I don't wanna get talking to too serious about it, but we get the direction here, which way we wanna go.
I guess that,
I would like to know,
that would be my thought, is to
I'd
get
like to know what the
started
interest
for
is in
sale.
that dump truck, if there's enough interest. If we couldn't borrow from the bank to make this, and as soon as we got that in, pay that loan off or refinance,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to put up about 30,000. If we could do a bank loan to get this stuff going, as soon as we got that stuff paid for, that goes directly to that bank loan.
Mhm.
Refinance, that's another. And I thought about it after I talked to these guys, I don't know, police. I was just putting that,
Yeah.
looking at that dump truck, I thought, you know, if we lease a smaller truck, which is gonna get used more. We use that same as we use a dump truck, we'd be turning that in 3 years, 2,200 miles, and wouldn't be ready for the first oil change. If we lease it, everything would be maintenance free. I think that's a little foolish, getting it for 3 years and turning in 2,200 miles on it.
Yeah.
They're not even broken, just like the feeder bit's not even
Yeah,
broken.
I'm not a fan of leases.
No, it's,
If you get it, you take good care of it. I mean, we just gave away our church van. We had it 28 years. We took care of it, maintained it, had 105,000 on it. You know, so, and we're not talking those miles or wear and tear.
yeah. So that's the price they got. Got some tractors here, I've looked at, got a quote here on Kubotas. PX 23S. People are saying this includes the tractor, the loader, the backhoe, and a 50-inch tiller, for $28,900. That's Sloan Monroe John Deere 1025R, similar size tractor. With tractor, loader, backhoe, and 49-inch tiller, $30,240. So we're $300 different, no, $1,300 difference.
And those are both good tractors.
Yeah, they're both name tractors now. With the backhoe, we haven't got one right now, but I think would come in pretty useful from Dr. Ripperville. We've got one, he says that backhoe is used all the time.
I agree.
It's easy on and off on the Kubota. I think the Kubota might be a little, I wanna say maybe stronger built than John Deere. John Deere's got a name, so it's Kubota. But it's cheaper, and I think it's probably designed a little better for that backhoe operation. But to do the backhoe operation, we had to go to a different frame track. I couldn't do the 23 that I wanted, 2680. Similar size. They had to go up to the PX 23 for the frame to do that. I talked to Mid-States on a backhoe for 1025. He said, yeah, they make a bit of damage. Sloan says, oh yeah, they work great. Sell it. It's a salesman.
Gotta sell what you have.
Yeah, read between the lines.
Well, everybody does it.
So I guess I would recommend the Kubota. I think it's a good built machine. If we're gonna get a backhoe, I think the frame's gonna hold it a lot better.
I know people with on them.
Yep. So, John Deere, you're paying a lot for the name.
Yep.
That would be my recommendation is Kubota. I did get a mower deck. I originally racing with mower decks. Dr. Mike says, we got 2 mowers, what do we need another mower deck?
Yeah. You can always get one later.
That was $3,000 option.
Yeah, we can always get one later. if we
Yep.
want.
We need to, we can always get one.
Yeah.
So that's just what I went with, the tractor, loader, backhoe, and tiller. I think that would that's gonna be a lot, and you're up here working on the park, see that skid steer tears everything up when you go to turn. Mike didn't even wanna use it down there, he said, why don't you do this, I'll turn the grass up. Tear the grass up,
Tear the
go
grass
back.
up, yeah.
You're down here, it ain't all public.
Yeah.
He didn't even want to use his bag, he's, well, I got hit, that's more harm than it does good down there. We can't be dragging this stuff 50 feet, yeah, back and forth. We've
Not
gotta
that
get
much
this done.
stuff.
Yeah. So, I guess that's the tractor I recommend. Just, what you guys wanna do on a truck, or give me the okay to take pictures of that truck? Mike said he's been cleaning it up, he said they gotta wash the engine yet, and he's gotta get in and wash the windows. I'm gonna get it out, let the rain down, so I can open the door to wash the windows. He's trying to get it cleaned up so we can take pictures. Want to, we can take pictures, put it on Marketplace, or put it out there and advertise it.
Yeah, I think once we hear from what the dog, you know, what we can do,
Yep.
then we can move forward. So is everybody, we can kind of talk, does everybody like this plan?
Yes.
Everyone in agreement on that? So then I guess we just need to kind of say, like, what's our plan going forward? We're gonna list those items pending the conversation with Orfordville,
Yes.
I would, absolutely, I would.
cause you gotta go fishing
Get
if
them
you're gonna catch
listed.
fish.
Yep.
So I think that, then we find out if there's gonna be anybody interested.
But I know the ASV is probably sold right now.
Yeah, it's probably gonna go quick.
I got a buyer already to buy that.
Yeah,
I'll be grown. Okay.
yeah.
He deals in this equipment all the time, Joe Gunn. He deals in this equipment nationwide. Big equipment.
Yeah.
He come in and praise it, and he says, yeah, he makes his percentage, so he says, I guarantee you $50. So, 45 to 50, I said, well, for selling that and the color both, $50. And the truck, I'm gonna start at 75. Hoping no less than 50.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And if there's someone in town interested, we should be talking to them.
Okay. We can do that as long as we got the okay up here.
Good job, Ron.
Alright. Yeah, check with Sherry. I know it's gonna be raining tomorrow now, everybody be down there playing in the wet again.
And you can talk to the, you know, the other place and see what a serious price is on one of these trucks. Maybe that price will change some for us too.
Call.
Yeah,
Is there any truck you want me to? Is there any certain truck would you like to stay with the Chevy? I mean, for $9,000 more? Chevy.
and I think you're right about
I'm a
stainless steel.
Chevy guy too, so.
I can call, yeah, I can call, I got his business card, I've got it here. I got it.
So let me ask this question, if we, because we need to talk about police department, we're just gonna look at the proposals tonight, so if we start this process and we can, like, we got something we can do, and we find out we can sell them however we want to, you know, we could always come back with another meeting. You know, make motions to sell things, approve that, approve purchases. And I think we can authorize you tonight, if you want us to put it in the motion, we can. But we can always come back and get that done in a special meeting between now and next month. Especially if we've got people that are ready to move. So I'll make a motion to authorize Roland, pending conversation with Sherry and Orfordville, to start some negotiations to sell or list the equipment we discussed and get some very firm prices on the trucks that he is interested in that we discussed as well.
I'll call Kaiser Chevy and talk to Dan.
Yep,
We're interested in that 11-foot dump,
yep.
500. Sharpen your pencil.
See what they do.
Get that, and then we're back to Monroe truck.
Yep.
And,
And I think you're right, you know, like if we sell the ASV and the plow truck's gonna go, then we're gonna have to take a loan out for the Kubota. so that's gonna be-
$30,000 for a bunch of equipment, I think, is not bad.
It's not bad. That's not a lot of money to. So there's your motion. So give me a second.
All right.
I'll say.
Second by Neil. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, number 20, seating a parking lot by fire station. This is one of the things on the list.
Have a good night, everybody.
That you guys wanted me to put on this month. We can always postpone it a month, but we need to start thinking about this. Yeah, because it's gonna be time to see really soon, probably mid-September.
Probably mid-September, October, we probably be in the next month. We could probably put it out there for quotes. Put it out there this month, put it out there for quotes,
And then.
because we can some maybe seated next month.
Yeah.
If we wait till September to send it out for quotes, we're gonna be into October.
Yeah.
And we need to, I think, address it this
And,
month.
and I think we should stipulate the timeframe we want it done.
Maybe Stockman would come up, I don't know if he's got a seeder, would be able to raise it up, seed it. Maybe Steve would give us a price on coming down to this or whatever. He's got a broadcast seeder, whatever he sees, just drive it out with. Or anybody, just throw it out there.
Yep. Yeah, so put it out for quotes and.
Yep.
When you want it done by.
I want.
No later than October 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're waiting for October.
Yeah, no later than October 15th.
Now, I don't know if we talked about putting black dirt on there to get the seed to take in a little better, I don't know as if we need to.
Do we still have a lot of compost down there at the old compost pile? Some of that good stuff? It'd be off towards the trees, cause I got a truckload of it, cause Joe always said anyone that wanted it could get it, and I got some.
Off to the left.
And it's pretty fantastic, I'll just say that.
Yeah,
If
I don't
it's-
know if there's enough of it, but.
Be worth digging around and playing around in and see if there's some good stuff in there. I mean, I'd rather do that than haul in a bunch of
Right.
topsoil.
Which I don't know if we really need topsoil over there, it's sand and gravel right now.
Is there any over near the industrial park? There
That's
used to
what
be
I
all
was-
that behind the Hoffman and, no, the other side.
Then we're gonna have expensive grading it out. We get it all in there, we're gonna have to get another expensive getting it graded out when we seed it. How much expense you wanna do over there?
I just want it to grow.
And that's it, if.
That rye grew pretty good, and he's been mowing it right along where there is, I think the stuff should grow. I
So
think
there's
we-
already stuff rooted in there that probably can help it. And that'll fit in organic material too.
Yeah. I think grass will, I'd have fertilizer or something. Yes, there's fertilizer with it.
Okay.
You can talk to Stockman, see what he thinks, I mean, there's somebody who does it all the time,
Yeah, we should, if you have someone that you think stays out of contact.
somebody who's more knowledgeable, you know, does it all the time, they would know.
Yeah. Okay, sound good? 21, trimming of trees. Roland, I'm just keeping this on the list for you.
Yep. I spoke to one guy tonight, I've had him trim my trees up, when I really deal with. I asked him if he'd be interested in something like that, he said he'd like to come look at it, see what he'd get into.
Mhm.
I said, "You gonna be down there in this weekend?" He said, "I'll call you if I can." We're gonna go to Indiana on Monday, so. If you want to, I said, we ride around, I can show you some of them, of what I've got mine, he says he likes to do it per project.
Mhm.
Yeah, I said, I know you do, you can get
Yeah.
one. But I would like to get a quote. I says, oh, you're going up and down this street, trimming. One of the property owners might want a tree cut down. We'll come out and talk to you, you have a job. One guy wants to get a tree cut down, he says, it's one of them down on South Gilbert.
Yeah, one of the problem trees.
Yeah, I've been waiting for the village to get a hold of me. Yeah, I wanna get this tree cut down too, I just haven't got the, you know? Take them out here trimming trees, that could be business drumming up for it.
Yeah.
Come out and talk to them, hey, I need this tree back here cut down, give me a price.
Well, even if he reduces price, if you got a whole bunch of people together,
Right.
you know, make it a good deal for
If I call him, I said,
both
if I
of
get
us.
10, 15 together, just come up the street, cut and trim here, cut and
Yeah.
chip. Everything gets done together. So he wants to come down and look, see what he's getting.
Okay, cool. Do we just keep this on the agenda and we can talk about it more next month? Okay.
And I went out there, yeah, it's a certain time of the year where you're not supposed to cut them, because they'll be certain types of trees.
Yeah.
I'm not an herborist, so I went on somebody who knows more about cutting trees if you're not gonna kill them.
Yeah, it depends on the tree.
Yep.
Okay. Let's move on to number 22. Building inspector, he's got some ordinance updates. Have we sent these to Tim?
No, we have not, just so you know, I met with him, about a week ago Tuesday. And the verbiage that he has added to these, he said our ordinances look really good, much better than most. But he said this is verbiage that needs to, it's like almost mandatory additions by the state. So if you were to have to submit anything to the state, they would reject without this being in our ordinances. So it's really nothing new, it's kind of standard. We just haven't added it to our ordinances.
So these are all state ordinances.
Yeah, and or statutes, but it's
These are our
addition,
ordinances
it's,
that he's just making additions to. that
yes,
this is required.
yes. It's just, he said that if, ordinance sent in for whatever he has to do with the state on our behalf, if they're not there, they will reject the paperwork. So it's just a standard upgrade, or update, if you will.
So is this gonna have to go to Tim and get redrawn, I assume? Why don't we reach out to Tim, if that's okay, send an email, and if we can just add these, we can just add these. We can make a motion tonight to do that. If he needs to drop an ordinance, we go do it later. Especially if we have a meeting in a week, because rolling solar.
Want a motion to send it to Tim?
Yeah, we can.
I would suggest sending it to Tim, so, I mean, obviously, we could actually make the changes, but it's not registered with the state. So I think we need to take that step to make the upgrades illegal, if you will.
Yep.
I'd make a
Across the board.
motion to send it to Tim so we can get combined. I'll second.
Okay, motion by Nicole, second by Danielle. Any more discussion on this? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Okay, if I could just, also in the meeting with the building inspector, so we have had some difficulties, with our building permit process. And things are clear on both sides of things since we met. There are some speed bumps, there is a technical gentleman that should be getting a hold of us. That has not occurred yet. We are supposed to have access to, for lack of a better term, a public portal to their company, so that like if we had a question, say you came in and filled out a building, or went online and filled out a building permit app, we wouldn't know anything about it. But if you came in and said, well, I haven't heard anything, we could actually go in on the portal and say, oh, well, this is where it's at. And we don't have that ability right now. Supposedly that's going to be fixed. The other thing is that, people are going to have gone on the online and filled out the application, but there's a sticking point And they send it back to us and go, well, this is okay on our end, is the zoning okay? And what they sent us, somebody sent in a drawing that was just on a legal paper, not everybody would know how to do that, so we've discussed the fact with them. I've asked for an example of a properly completed site map. And that's what's going to have to be required for everybody that wants a building permit for anything additional under their home, a deck, a shed, a garage, whatever. So that we have an idea of where it sits in perspective to the house that's on the lot, the size of the lots, if the setbacks are enough, the drawing will indicate that. What they've indicated to us is that if that drawing is not sent in, they will reject the application and the person kind of has to start over. So that's kind of what the sticking point has been. And with that site map, we should comfortably be able to approve the zoning, because we will have an idea of where the house sits on the lot, how far it is from easements, lot lines, driveways, all of that stuff. So that was a sticking point.
Yeah.
And with that site map, we should be able to comfortably approve the zoning as they call it, without an additional cost. So,
And the other thing we've talked about is, what if someone applies for a permit?
Yes.
They start doing work, but then they decide they don't wanna do it, and they don't pay for the permit, and we get charged for it, we can drop that onto their tax bill
as a special assessment.
as a special assessment.
Right.
So we aren't, the village isn't out,
Mhm.
As it should be.
as it should be, yes, so. Any other questions or comments on that item? Okay, number 23, computer know-how, email security services, I'll let you talk about that.
Tammy emailed with them about this, so
Well, basically, they're letting us know warning wise that what is typically on systems right now, we are undercovered, let's put it that way, for email phishing, security, so on and so forth. And one service is, I believe, I can't remember exactly, how much was it, Stacy, 25 a month?
25
And the other one was like $8 a month. I think it's a wise investment to protect us from things that are going on. They sent us, well, we're not so sure. We had an open record request not too long ago from this Sun something or other that said they were some political group and they wanted access to all of our board members and their email addresses and all this kind of stuff. And there was a lot of talk on the clerk grapevine, if you will. And it finally came out that this was a phishing scam, but not before several of us included, sent, we didn't, just basic information, it wasn't anything. And lo and behold, then emails came in like, from John, that, John
I need
Thompson.
gift cards.
Yeah, John Thompson, that, John Harney, could you do this for me because I'm so-and-so and I don't have the money. And so it just protects us from that, gives
Yeah.
us extra protection from that kind of stuff. Because we can't not deal with open record requests, we have to. But it also, that can open us up for things like this.
So I don't know what program we utilize, but I know like with our work email, if it's a web ad or an email address that you don't necessarily get emails from on a regular basis, or they're not in your contacts, we'll get a little thing that pops up that says, does this look safe to you?
Mhm.
You know, and then we have the option to mark it as phishing
Right.
or as spam, et cetera. But one of the things that, you know, is big is check the actual email address
Mhm.
that it's being sent from. Because 9 times out of 10, that's gonna tell you whether or not it's a valid email, but, do you know, did he explain, is that what happens with this? Like, do you get something that pops up, or does it just stop the email from coming
I
through
think-
and it filters it?
This is like an added barrier, if I understand it correctly. This is like an added barrier so that we are not able to be hacked, and our whole system, shut down. And I realize we're not some giant city, but it could still be catastrophic
Mhm.
if we were to get shut down.
For sure.
It's extra protection now that we are not protected in any way for.
And I assume this would also be on the court email.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we would, yes, I think any email associated with us would be covered.
Yeah.
But we can double check on that to make sure that they do also cover that.
Yeah, because I would wanna
Okay,
include it
yeah.
in that as
It
well.
says your entire office.
Yeah,
Yeah, it should
Well,
be
we
all the
would-
official
we-
email addresses.
we would make certain
Okay.
that your email and even down at the treatment plant,
Okay.
all of those
Yeah.
emails are covered under it. But I just
think
think
for
it's.
$25 a
That's
month,
what I
that's-
think.
that's-
Well, it's 25 and
33.
8 for the double cert, so it'd be
Mhm.
like, $33 a month.
That's nothing.
But I think it's worth the protection for
Sure,
yourself.
for sure.
Yeah.
There's too many things out there that you just can't be certain about.
I'll make the motion that we approve it.
Yeah.
I'll second, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, we could spend a whole lot more trying to fix it if we don't
We
take
will.
it.
Exactly.
So,
Motion.
We lost our entire network because of something
Mhm.
like that, so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Police Department, the organization proposals that we have one from Orfordville.
They backed out.
They backed out.
They had some officers quit, and they just don't have the manpower now to do it, so.
Yeah. Did you get anything from the county?
I think they
I have
did.
not heard from them, but never talked to them, but
I talked to Nate last week at the fair. He told me to go to Florida and come back, said they would hire a deputy. So we could put it over, we could only get him for one shift. I don't think that's what we want. Or it's a little bit more, we talked about, we do a swing shift. If we got him for 40 hours a week, what we do,
Do a rotating.
couple days, couple nights. I guess that's what we need to talk to the county on, if this is gonna be one shift, 7 to 3 or 7 to 4, whatever,
Yeah.
done?
well, just that
So-
one. Just to interject, we did try to get a hold of them, and, the phone number that, Nate had given us, it says it's not existing, so I actually called Nate, and that is the number that Nate got, so I left a message at the sheriff's department saying that we would like to speak with Jude, if someone could have him call us, and we've got no response. So we were gonna try to have someone here to speak tonight, or at least provide a proposal, and we just couldn't get anywhere with it,
Yeah.
so.
So I was gonna say too, can we research the grants that we got to develop the police department? Because I guess I have concerns as far as if we no longer have our own police department, do we have to pay any of those grants back? And if we do, what percentage? Because I know there was grant money that was provided, and it makes me nervous to shut that down, and then it's gonna cost us to pay that grant money back.
Yeah, we don't wanna do that.
And we got a lot of COVID grant, like, there was a lot to it, so I just wanna.
Well,
get
there
that
was
figured
COVID
out.
money that was used for that vehicle, for sure.
Yeah.
And part of that problem is that because we agreed to purchase the vehicle, the fire department didn't get the COVID money, so then okay, then how are we gonna split that? So there's a lot to it, but I would assume that there's records here with the grants that were provided.
Maybe there's minutes, we talked about it.
Yeah.
Or packets,
And then we'd have to figure out what's what.
yeah. Maybe an email search, I mean, we can see what we got. We don't have it, we don't have it.
On this county deal, I've been hearing that a lot of town employees contact with the county. They want officers, because they can't get officers. Evansville, I guess, has got county contract with the county. They can't get officers. But there's people jumping on the county, the county's filling their seats, so. It's gonna be too late for us by the time we get anything done.
I think we oughta talk to the people that have applied, see if they're still interested.
I think we need to repost it
I
and
think
see if
we-
there's interest, because it's been too long, they're not interested. We need to repost it, we need to post it for what actually would work for the village. We had talked about having the 2 swing shifts, no benefits. The coverage would be far greater that way.
The accountability would be far greater too.
And the only way that we can do that is to post and see who applies and have those conversations. To me, that would be the best route to
But these
take.
other departments, they can't get nobody, and I know their pay scale a lot higher than ours. They're not keeping people, they can't get people to come in.
Yeah.
Right,
I know
but
their budget's a lot better than ours is for.
there might be priorities for those individuals applying also that could be more interested in a small community versus Rock County. It doesn't hurt to advertise for applicants. Worst case scenario is we end up
We
back to
decide to
square
go
one.
take a different
Yeah.
direction. I mean, that would answer your question, though, and if there's people
Yeah.
interested.
We
Sure.
could throw it out there, see if there's any interest, but I would still talk to the county if we could get us one shot.
Oh, I think so too.
Don't just shut them out.
Yeah, let's not,
No, I wouldn't shut
Let's
down
keep
the
our options
idea.
open.
Do it.
I think it would be more cost effective if we could contract with the county than running our own police department. There's
They
a lot of
cover all
expense there.
all the expenses.
Yeah, a lot of it.
yeah, well, see, it's shocking me when I read Orfordville and it's $115 an hour.
Mhm.
But you would have to, I mean, that sounds big, and you're right, it does. But I mean, you've got cost factors in there like the vehicle insurance and the vehicle maintenance
Yep.
and the tires and uniforms and a space to put them in.
Yeah, I just don't want it to be more than what we were spending in the past. You know, what we have, but, you know, if it's $100,000 like this one, that's what, 25,000 more than we were
Right,
for our own.
And part of me is nervous about
but we also would have.
the
had more
shift,
coverage.
like when are they going to be devoted to Foothill? Which is something I would want very much so drawn out, that if we enter an agreement that they're going to be here for the hours that we're paying for.
Can I say something? I know lately, a couple of months now, you go to bed at 11 o'clock and you hear squealing all over.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you go through the intersections,
Mhm.
people are doing donuts and stuff.
It's down here.
It is, they know they can get away with it, cause there's no cops around here.
Yep.
Yep, they do.
So somebody would need to be, I would think, Friday night and Saturday night.
Yeah, which is where I roll, and
I
it's
know they
exactly right,
should.
it's gotta not be one set time, but
Depot Street's getting
people will
pretty,
do whatever they want on those off
pretty
times.
decorated down there.
Yeah.
Front door down.
Have to be grappling.
Is Rock County coming through at all?
I have,
Yeah.
I have seen them myself.
I
go
see them
through,
every
but I
once
don't
in a
know if they're
while.
patrolling, they just might be going through.
So, and I can attest,
Yeah.
even if they are in the village, there has not been a citation written since Tom left. So unless they're gonna actually act, it's pointless. And this is where I go back to, if we enter an agreement with somebody, they need to be doing something.
They need to take
Not
care of
us
the
just
ordinance.
paying
This,
a
this is
bill.
not an open discussion. This is,
I think now, we're kind of back to square one again. I think we've gotta bring, Rock County in and have conversation with them. That's the only way, we're just guessing. We have to.
hard enough.
Yeah, we need
got-
hard numbers.
That's it, we have hard numbers. That, and do we go back to just
And I think.
sending out that, you know?
Yes, I think that that's
Open that
part
up.
of this process is to advertise, whether it be what we had talked about in the HHR committee, advertise for those positions and see if we've got the interest. Because you can't really weigh the apples to apples if you don't know what you've got. I mean, if there's no sense in
Right,
saying,
we're just
we're not gonna go with Rock
guessing.
County because we're gonna hire our own officers and then not be able to hire officers. That wouldn't make any sense.
Yep.
That would be my proposal, is to post the position, see if we get any interest. Have a discussion with Rock County. Obviously, we need to actually get somebody here and have that conversation. That is something that we could do in an HHR committee. We could have that conversation with them. If we can schedule a time for somebody to show up here and, be able to actually move forward with it. As the court clerk, I find it very disheartening that we have nobody taking control over anything as far as citations. We were actually, and not that I wanna see people get citations, like that is not the goal, but we had a good steady income coming in for quite a while with the citations that we were writing. And, you know, I'm still sending people to collections, and little by little that'll trickle in, but, you know, it's part of the revenue for the village, it's part of ensuring that people are mindful of the laws and following them, and we need to get back to that.
Yeah, and it's peace of mind for the citizens too. Someone's
Absolutely.
here.
I mean,
However we go.
there's black marks, you know, at the bottom of my road, and there's too many little kids around, like, nobody wants to see somebody get hurt. But if there's nobody to enforce it, that's what we're gonna end up with.
Yeah. Have you heard anything from Plymouth? Are they still interested in us?
We haven't had a discussion because
For a long time.
like, we don't have any progress with anything. The last conversation that we had is, yes, they absolutely are interested in having somebody, and again, theirs isn't even really focused on the traffic piece.
This ordinance.
But you have to have a contract with somebody, whether it's your own police department or a signed contract with Rock County, for them to actually enforce an ordinance. You can't, Rock County can come out here right now and they can give a citation for speeding, but they can't help us with ordinances. And what's the point of having ordinances if you can't do anything with them?
Do you wanna talk to the clerk over in Plymouth and see if they,
She is no longer there.
she's no longer there?
We now,
Okay.
yeah, I've gotta figure out who the new clerk is over there.
Okay.
They have had their own handful of issues, and, yeah.
Do we have Don, is Don still president over there?
Don.
Don Baumkamp? If we have his email, do you wanna just send him an email and just say, we are still talking about this, do you still have interest? I mean, that
I'm
factors
yeah,
into the
I'm quite
equation
sure
too.
he's still interested,
I'm sure he
but
is.
for sure I would ask.
But we should at least ask.
Yeah.
And we do need to resolve this soon.
Well, and that was it, I started working on their ordinances so that we could get them in the same, tip system, but differentiate between the two areas, and, you know, and then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna keep working on this, cause we don't even have a police department, you know, what's the point? But it's, you know, part of it too is it's disheartening because I've put a lot of work into our entire court process and, our system and just learning all these things, and it's very beneficial, it's very beneficial for the community. We need to move forward with it.
I'll make a motion that we repost the positions, we contact Rock County,
Who will do that?
and we contact Plymouth,
So I will need to get an HHR committee together because I would like to reconvene and have that conversation about the, positions themselves. If we wanted to try and post for 2 part-time swing shifts, so that we can make sure that we're covered night and day and on the weekends and all that good stuff. Which I can get that scheduled here
Yep.
quickly.
so I'll keep that in my motion that authorize them, the HHR committee to approve that and get it posted before our next meeting. And let's see if we gotta go fishing. Let's see if we get bites. And to Roland's point, if there's no one out there, we need to talk to Rock County.
I don't think it's Murfreesboro lost a couple of them. Evansville can't get them, they're contracting county, voice contracting county.
Yeah. It's a challenge.
So who's gonna get hold of Rock County, or are you gonna do
I
that
can reach out to
on
Rock County, yeah.
Just so we know.
And you'll email Plymouth. Okay, just email them.
They can't keep them with their budget, I'm sure nobody wants them.
I know, yeah,
So your motion is to repost the positions and contact Rock County.
yep, and contact Plymouth. Anyone
You'll
want-
contact,
And then we still need, one has to still be a chief of police.
No.
No, we don't.
Don Baumkamp said you can have a lead officer
Okay.
and that he's in charge, so you don't have to technically have a chief. That was
Chief
his-
requires a lot of additional training and,
Yeah, no, it's good.
yeah, and it's a lot of expense that we really don't wanna take on.
And in talking with Taryn Cox, he's on Dane County Sheriff, I mean, there's sheriff's officers that look for places like
Mhm.
this. So hopefully Orfordville can get back up to who they full complement of officers. So it's good for both of us. So there's a motion on the table. Okay, and we'll second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Number 25 should be simple. Center Township had a request to rezone a section of land. It's in the extraterritorial range of the village, so they have to send it to us, and we just give an approval for it. They're basically dividing a property there on Lordy Road.
But some of the properties in the village, right?
None of the
These-
properties in the village.
None of those properties.
It's out
in the village?
on Brody Road by the corner of.
Within 3 miles, they have to reach out to us
Oh.
and get our approval. This is totally in Center Township.
It's Doherty's.
This is just like a rubber stamp of us saying you can do what you,
Doherty's?
Doherty's.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
All right. Yeah, this one had to.
yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, nothing happens on the patio.
Okay, good.
So we need to do a
We need a
motion to
motion to
approve it.
approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passed. 26, contract with MSA to continue maintenance on CDBG loans. Tammy probably knows more about this than I do.
So a contract was signed by Gary South and Shauna back in 2022 to, maintain or administer the maintenance reports, everything on these loans. We do serve active residents in the village on this loan program. And they will remain active until they sell their houses and then repay the loans that they have from this. So these could stay active for a while. And the funds to pay MSA prior to whenever they decide it's going into effect, because there's no real effective date yet. They suspect it will come soon, is kind of what I've been told. The funds to pay for them to administer or maintain these contracts have been taken out of the program itself. With the cuts that Trump has put in place, that's no longer going to be the case. So our contract with MSA is current, will stay current. And then we would be responsible for a $2,000 a year maintenance fee to have them continue to administer, which we really do need, to be honest with you.
Is that what we've been paying?
No.
We haven't paid that?
The
No,
loans
we
have
have
been
not
paid.
paid that.
Okay.
The program itself paid that, but now it's not allowed to
Okay.
do that any longer. So it would be a $2,000 a year fee to keep them administering this. And I do think it is in our benefit to do that. But also, as people do sell their homes and pay off their loans for this, it's like we can renegotiate the fee for it. So
Okay.
going into this, as things stand right now, would be $2,000. It could decrease as we go along. But because none of us are, experts on this whole program, and the maintaining or the reporting for it, I just think it is a good investment to continue this contract with MSA.
Now, what are they maintaining? What loans?
It's, okay, there was a loan program for villagers, that started, I don't even know when it started, back as far back as 2003, I at least know that. And the most recent one was, approved and given out in 2022. And a homeowner, if they meet the qualifications, financially and income-wise and all of that, say they need a new roof, or say they wanna replace their windows, or say they wanna side their house, they can apply for a loan through this program, or they could, through this program. They would allow them to be approved for the loan, they would receive the loan, they would do the improvement in their house. They're not charged interest, and they don't have to repay the loan until they actually sell their house.
Do they call it a HUD loan?
It's not, yes, it's not HUD, it is community, what is it called?
Community
Community
development.
development.
Okay.
Okay.
And you can no longer, I think there still is kind of a branch of it, the program is different now.
Mhm.
But we have current residents on that, like there are 11 of them. So until they sell their homes, we have our foot in this
Sure.
program
Sure.
and are active. But it also requires maintaining, and they take a percentage at the time of closing. We get a percentage at the time of closing when they sell their houses. All of it has to be reported to the state. So I really do think it's in our best interest because these loans, I mean, people could, if they're 40 now, they could be 90 until they
Right,
sell their
sure.
house. That's a long time to maintain, long past us, let's put it that way.
Yeah. The state's talked about discontinuing this program because of changes in the federal government,
Mhm.
but no one knows anything.
Right,
So it's just like all up in the air.
Right.
But we have to do all this
Right.
paperwork right.
Mhm.
I mean, to
Or
cover
we get in
us,
trouble.
I think that
right.
I would make a motion to approve that because I think it covers the village. and
Right.
that's what
Could
we
I still get a loan like that?
No, well, I think
No,
it's.
So we don't need
John.
qualifications,
I don't
John.
even, I don't even know that they put out the clarification on what the new sort of sister program to this might be. They don't even know when this fee is going to take effect. I do know that our contract remains in effect until they come down to some confirmed change date
Mhm.
of this, but even then, all we do is renew the contract and it continues on, and we will be billed. They will send us an actual invoice for the $2,000, probably after the first year.
Yeah, I was in an hour-long webinar on this, and basically, the result of that was, this is gonna change, we don't know when.
Right,
and you
everything's
have
up
to
in the
keep
air
doing
yet.
your stuff.
Mhm.
And it was just like,
Mhm.
that was not helpful.
Right.
It was wasting my hour,
Yep,
so.
So, yeah, I would make a motion to approve that we, maintain that with MSA.
I'll second.
Motion by Nicole, second by John. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Number 27. MTAW Virtual Conference Registration. Is that you guys?
Yep, it's $99, it's online, it's a day and a half, on Thursday and Friday. And Melanie and I would both do the same classes, so I think one of us can just register and we can both watch it together.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
I'll second. Sorry.
And this is-
Rowan seconded.
What are the dates on this?
September 18th and 19th.
Okay, so let's just make sure we just communicate that. Yeah, close down the office.
And, not next week, but the following week is when we go to La Crosse for the Wisconsin municipal clerks
Okay.
training. So we'll
and
be
yes,
on-
I will be coming in daily,
we'll
I'll
watch
check
Thursday,
messages and
Thursday.
emails.
Yep. Yeah, probably a really good posting here. Could we put something down at the post office or the other
Well,
places?
yeah, we
around the
probably
post?
could.
Just to let people know the office is closed. Then if someone says, I didn't know, I can throw it on Facebook too.
Well, we could probably have, put it on the website too.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
That'll send notifications and I'll just send that out. Okay. So we did a motion and a second, I think. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, number 28. Employee evaluations and pay structure agreement.
Can you speak to it?
I didn't put this on the agenda, so.
Okay, well, it was put on the agenda simply because both Mel and Stacy were told at their hirings that they would get $1 an hour raise at 6 months. We are at 6 months. Mel's a little past, she's just now at 6 months. There was an evaluation form. I have started filling it out because I'm the one that deals with them every day. If that is, John was in on the meeting when, we agreed to the $1 an hour raise at 6 months. They are both progressing very well. Sometimes going above and beyond, but very impressive. I think that they have earned it, and if it's okay with you, I mean, I can send you copies of the evaluations. But I had David's actually scheduled with Mike for this past Tuesday, but that didn't take place because weed cleaning became a priority, so that, the 30-day has not happened with him, but I wouldn't do that by myself. Mike would be in on that, because he's the one that has the experience with it. And I'm here every day with these girls, so I think it's fair that I fill out, and actually, that's what I was hired to do anyways, so. Is that okay with
I mean,
everyone?
that's what we agreed to, right?
Yeah, that's.
So we should do what we agreed to.
Yes.
I mean, I think we've already motioned and approved that, but we can do it again.
I'll make a motion to approve the dollar increase.
Because you guys have already
Melanie
taken one
Stacy.
part of your clerk school and that was
Yes,
part of
they
what
have.
we were saying.
And they've
That was-
taken election training,
Yep,
they're taking the next training, in September.
yep,
So, they're making good strides at it.
yep. Second on that?
I'll second it.
Okay, Dave? Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, number 29, DPW training for water operator certification courses.
Well, I will speak to it only because we were sent information to register, David, for and I'm not opposed to that, I realize that we're kind of on the chopping block and we need that. But my question is, are we going to invest in somebody before they finish their 90-day probationary period? Because the training starts definitely a month before his 90 days are up.
When is the next training available?
Well, that's another thing. I don't know, they're not always offered all the time. That's kind of why we're on a teeter-totter here. And
What's the cost?
it's like seven,
I thought this one, that one was 500 and something.
yeah, but there's some other costs associated with it I read through it. And it wouldn't be like more than 700, but it's more than just that.
So
It's in Madison,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Correct?
it's in Madison.
has
So
he
there
had a
wouldn't be
30 or a
hotel.
60-day evaluation?
Well, that's what we had a 30-day eval set for him this past Tuesday.
Oh, I got it, okay.
But it was called off because Monday the call came in about the weeds, and that takes priority.
So when does, let me work this out in my brain. When does the course start?
It starts in later September,
And he needs to be registered by,
As soon as
the
possible.
Friday before it starts.
oh, okay.
But it will fill up, correct?
Well,
Or
it
there-
may or may not, there's no way to know that.
Okay.
There's no way to know that.
I didn't know if it said there was a limit on it.
I would like to ensure that he has a 30-day review first.
Okay.
And having conversation with Mike and ensure that he's progressing as he should. I would say that if that be the case, I would go ahead and get him registered for it because we don't know when the next one would be.
Okay.
And we don't want to underprepare him.
No. If it's all right with you, can I speak with you afterwards?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and if we need to put in a closed session to talk about evaluations, we probably need to do that at some point.
Okay.
And just have a discussion.
I would like to have a discussion about it as well to possibly include the HHR committee.
Yeah, yeah.
To some degree, whether it be me or somebody else, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean.
For the evaluations of that nature,
Yeah, just communication. with them.
yeah.
Yeah, like, I'd like to see what they.
And I can
you know.
send them to you.
Yeah.
I can send them to you. I'm not trying to hide anything.
No, I'm
It's
not
just that I
saying
have
that.
the experience with them day in and day
Oh,
out.
no, I'm, my concern is more of having the second set of eyes versus one-on-one. That's my point to that.
Okay.
It's just being able to ask questions.
Right.
Like, we would do this on school board, like Dr. Anderson, he would evaluate people, but we would go into closed session and he'd talk about the evaluation, his strengths, how they did, all those
Okay, I
things.
understand what you mean.
You know, so here's what I did with them,
Mhm.
and so I just think that's good if we do that, and so we can ask questions.
And you don't want it to come back to you that, okay, I'm doing all the evaluations, but we're not having conversation now, something goes bad, is it your fault, you know? So
Right.
it's that
Yeah.
piece, that we wanna make sure that we're having that conversation.
And
and
those
relaying
weren't
the
necessarily
information.
things that the school board approved, but just so that we could talk about, maybe there's something we see from our side. Hey, this might be something we need to talk a little bit about and see some improvement here. So,
Sure.
or we might have heard something from someone talked to us, I have this concern. So just allows us the freedom to discuss those things.
Most days evaluations come from Tinder, like where.
Well, Mike,
We talked
the
to
appointment
him,
was
yes,
with Mike,
yes,
but it was canceled, so, yeah, we
Yeah.
tried,
Well, and
we
hopefully
tried.
there's a lot of free communication between everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
Should be.
Should
you know,
be.
Mike and Mike should be having those conversations with you. That was the purpose in one of the major purposes in creating that position as the administrator is they need to be having those conversations with you, that you
And
need to
to
be
have.
notified, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so, yeah, we could talk about it
Okay.
later though, but
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, it's just good communication, I guess is
Yeah,
all I'm
I-
saying. And we did that at school board, that was really healthy for us. And it's good for the administrators too, because then we can, like, maybe we could ask a question, or maybe we see something that maybe they need a little bit more support in something. You know, how can we do that? What do they need? You know, it's kind of those kind of questions too that we can talk about. So, we'll do that in the future meeting. So regarding the class, what's your thoughts?
I guess my thought would be that, I would provide him the 30-day evaluation. If all is good there, then I would say that we go ahead and get him registered. I don't wanna set a new employee up for failure. If we've got the tools there to provide him, then I think that's what we need to do to progress.
What the hell is this, August, September? Myself, I think he needs to be down there a little bit more to get more familiar with water. He's totally green. He's never been in a work situation yet. He's learning the work ethics. He has no idea. I think it's a lot for him to learn off of that, you know?
Get him down there.
Hmm?
Get him down there.
It's all a matter of directives.
Yep. I don't know if September's gonna be enough. I'd almost like to have him build more experience and learn. If he goes this and fails it, you gotta put him through it again.
Yeah, see, I don't even know what like, is it something where, like what Mike McGuire just did, where he goes for the classes, he studies and then he passes?
Then he'd
I
have
mean,
to
that's
take
the
a
advantage
test.
to having Mike
Mike's
Tinder,
gotta take a test, yeah.
is that, you know, Mike might be able to coach him on how he can study for that too. I mean,
Mike
with
would-
that, have that advantage at the
Even
moment.
they could do that.
Mike went with sewer operation.
Yeah.
Mike went.
Yes, he did.
Water operation.
Yep, so this would be the water side.
And then either one of them would be able to assist him if he's got questions and,
Yeah.
you know.
But
yeah.
I agree with completing the evaluation, make sure we're good on that. He has been here longer than the last two, that's a good sign, I hope.
He's lived,
And
he's lived
he
through the
was here
last.
with a smile.
I showed up, yes,
He lived through the last 3 days down in that jungle.
yeah.
I don't know many people who are.
Some people might have been done after that.
Yeah.
After the first day. Okay. So do we have a motion?
I made the motion.
Yeah, second.
Okay. Motion by Olson, by Rowland. Any other discussion? Okay, all of those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, number 30, quote for replacing windows in municipal office. We have a quote for that.
well, Chuck Duncan was here, and they did measure, and he was, I believe he worked on a quote. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's multiple windows, it's 6 windows.
They're all bad.
Or 4 windows and 2 items.
My only question is, can we get a second quote or is this it?
No, we can, who would you like? I don't know who else. Have suggestions. And these guys replace runs. Who else?
City.
Garage down there. Clay.
Oh, Eric Twig, yeah. You see if Rhino wants to hold on it. I thought him the other day doing it.
two windows.
Yeah,
Why
Is
is
this
this watch
pressing,
back?
like, do we have to get these done?
I
like
just think that
ASAP?
best practice is that we have more than
Yeah, I
one
agree.
quote to, yeah.
Can we survive for a couple more weeks?
A couple more weeks, I don't know about a couple more months or a winter.
No,
Um,
I'm just saying.
yeah.
if
Just
we-
long enough to get another
Before
quote.
winter.
Yeah, oh no,
Yeah,
yeah.
if we
before
could get a
absolutely.
couple
Well,
quotes, I mean, if we're gonna, Roland's gonna sell everything, so we'll be back here in a week, you know? So if we can cover it then.
Well, it's gonna have us rolling in money.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Well, it's not the quote that's the problem, it's them getting the windows built and them installed.
Correct.
Yeah, but if we
Yeah.
can get the quotes, then we can act on the quote.
Keep going.
I mean, if we have to have a
Even-
special 5-minute meeting to decide.
It would be
whether-
nice to offer to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
He did free business for it, you know, I didn't ask for nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It would be probably only right to
He might give us a really good deal. Okay. So,
Anyone else that want quotes from?
anyone
I
else?
think as long as we have 2 quotes, that's fine. I just would like to have something else to compare it to.
Probably check this week out.
Yep.
It's early sometimes.
Yeah, we don't need it till the next
Can't
spring,
show up.
we need it done soon.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they didn't put that on here.
Oh, I'd keep
Well,
hauling.
Chuck would be quick,
I would keep hauling.
yeah.
Okay, we'll get more quotes on that one. So then we're at 31, if that sounds good to everyone. Preliminary discussion, Danielle, do you have anything?
I do, so August 9th, we're having a park cleanup, the Boys and Girl Scouts are coming. I put down 9 to noon, they're gonna come just probably for a couple hours. And then, Chuck Duncan put the pavers in, he put the new ones that we got, and he replaced all the chipped ones. So he does that on his own, doesn't charge anything.
Did the corrected one get that?
Yes, that's it, that is it,
Are the chip ones just blank ones?
yes, yep. If they get chipped and they have names on them, then we do that for free. We
Right.
Replace it,
I think
yep.
that's appropriate.
Yep. And then Chuck spent all day yesterday putting in the cement for the new light lamp posts that we're gonna put in. And he'll probably be putting those out tomorrow, so that is really nice of him to do all of that work for free. And then, I brought in all the signs that we had
Oh.
ordered.
Already
Yeah,
purchased.
stop signs and all that, yep, they're in.
After we get weeds to.
Yeah, after that, then
Not before.
we'll be getting those up.
Those are not approved.
No, correct, but they're in there, so
Awesome.
whenever you're ready.
Thank you
so.
for that.
Sure. Yep, that's it, just economic development, but I already said that, so.
Dave, do you have anything? Okay, John? Roland?
I just wanna bring up that I spoke to Dave or Mike last month after we, getting the brush hog from that loader. I said, Joe and Devin always rented one once a year. I don't know what you had it on, from the cat, ASV. And mow, get all the weeds mowed down there and across the highway. The stop sign coming in on P, kind of tall, you can't see the stop sign, weeds are too tall, they all need to be cut. So, I told Mike a month ago, I said, just call somebody, rent a bush hog. Said he's gonna talk to Devin and see where they went.
Yep.
He did, and I don't know, I'd like to try and get that pushed, get
Yeah.
going too, so if you see him, I told him, you don't have to have a board meeting, get that bush hog.
No.
I mean, it's just part of.
Yeah, that's maintenance that needs done. Do you know if the tree on Century got trimmed?
It did.
Good.
You can see the stops.
See the stop sign there.
We
Good.
didn't overdo it.
No, I mean, honestly, you can't even tell that the tree's been trimmed, other than you can see the stop sign now, so no, it did
Yeah.
turn out really well.
Okay. Nicole?
The only thing that I wanted to address was that, this would be my year to go to the Wisconsin Municipality Court Clerks Conference, because we're expected to go every other year. I did reach out to Carol Bushel and let her know that I cannot attend because it falls the exact same days as the Wisconsin I do have another clerk that is going, that will provide me with all of the handouts, et cetera, from the conference, and I will be attending next year as it's in September next year, so. Just so nobody thinks I'm skipping out.
I don't think I have anything. My list is always on the agenda, so. Any motion to adjourn? John made a motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you for your time.
No, thank you.
So, do you need me to sign something?
I have some here.
Okay. You got official copies of this?
Yeah, that's fine. I just have to get myself right.
I'm gonna put this in here. And then we can put that there.
Will agenda. Yeah, that's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
Nate's,
Remember you said.
yeah, was it anniversary or her birthday, one of his birthday?
Well,
Okay.
Diane
Off
was
yourself.
2 weeks ago, and they didn't get it, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
It is really hard on the
yeah,
phone.
he said he was
And
gonna.
Dan was just.
Is it there?
I just saved this paper.
Right.
I have to put it on my office computer so I can pull it up and see it.
Put it together.
For one, because the both of them
Oh.
Is Nate gonna come in and give us back?
I don't know, I'll save it for it.
Yeah.
This Saturday?
Just those, all those three.
Oh.
Oh, if I made a call yet?
I probably would come down, but
Oh, we was down there.
I know you're down there.
I got down there at 6:30 this
Then I
morning.
got to thinking,